What if everything you knew about the creation of Eve was based on a mistranslation? Over the years, we've been told that Eve was made from one of Adam's ribs. But what if this isn't the full story? Imagine a time when every detail of a story held the power to shape entire cultures and belief systems. Because of this misunderstanding, do we view gender and relationships differently? Join us as we delve into the original Hebrew text to uncover the truth. The traditional narrative tells us that God created Adam first and then made Eve from one of Adam's ribs. This story, found in Genesis 2 verses 21 to 22, has been interpreted as a divine justification for gender roles, often placing women in a secondary position. The idea of Eve being made from Adam's rib has been cited countless times to argue that women are somehow derived from men, reinforcing a hierarchy that has persisted through the ages. But what if I told you that the word rib is a mistranslation? What if the original Hebrew text reveals a completely different story, one that challenges the foundations of these patriarchal interpretations? Today, we're going to explore how a single word's mistranslation has shaped centuries of thought and what the true meaning can teach us about equality. Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind Adam's rib and how this revelation can change our understanding of one of the most famous stories in history. In Hebrew, the word tsela appears over 40 times in the Old Testament, and interestingly, it is never translated as rib elsewhere. Instead, it consistently means side, chamber, or part of a building. There are several scriptural examples of this. For example, in Exodus 25 verse 12, tsela refers to the sides of the Ark of the Covenant. Cast 4 gold rings for it and fasten them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Here, tsela is clearly translated as side, not rib. Similarly, in 1 Kings 6 verse 5, tsela describes the chambers or rooms alongside the temple. Against the walls of the main hall and inner sanctuary, he built a structure around the building, in which there were side rooms. This consistent use of tsela to mean side or chamber supports the argument that its translation as rib in Genesis 2 verses 21 to 22 is a misinterpretation. The Bible provides a precedent for using specific words for body parts. For instance, the Aramaic word for rib bone, Allah, is used in other biblical texts, such as in the book of Daniel. In Daniel 7 verse 5, the word Allah is used to describe the ribs in the mouth of the bear. And behold, another beast, a second one, like a bear. It was raised up on one side, and 3 ribs were in its mouth between its teeth, and it was told, Arise, devour much flesh. The use of the term Allah for rib bone in Daniel highlights the deliberate choice of the Hebrew word tsela in Genesis. If the intention had been to indicate a rib, the more precise term Allah would likely have been used. This distinction is crucial because it suggests that the creation of Eve involved the more integral part of Adam, reinforcing the idea of her being an equal and integral part of humanity. Now, imagine the profound implications if tsela was intended to mean side rather than rib. Instead of envisioning God taking a single rib from Adam, picture him taking a part of Adam's side, a more substantial portion. This suggests that Eve was created as an equal counterpart, not a derivative or secondary being. This reinterpretation shifts the focus from a minor, seemingly insignificant bone to a significant part of Adam's being, emphasizing equality and partnership. The mistranslation of tsela as rib has far-reaching consequences. For centuries, the idea that woman was made from a small, insignificant part of man has been used to justify patriarchal structures. This interpretation has reinforced the notion that men are the primary beings and women are secondary. This idea has seeped into religious doctrines, cultural norms, and societal structures, shaping the way gender roles are perceived and enacted. Historically, this mistranslation has manifested in various ways. In many cultures, women have been denied the same rights as men, seen as property, or expected to fulfill subservient roles. Even today, remnants of this belief persist in certain traditions and practices. The idea that women are somehow less than men has been used to justify their exclusion from leadership roles, educational opportunities, and decision-making processes. Consider the historical context in which this mistranslation has been perpetuated. Throughout history, patriarchal societies have often relied on religious texts to validate their structures. The idea that woman was created from man's rib, a smaller and seemingly less significant part of his body, has been a convenient justification for maintaining male dominance. This narrative has been used to argue that women are naturally inferior and should occupy a subordinate position in society. Now, let's consider the true meaning of tsela as side. This suggests that Eve was created as an equal partner, taken from Adam's side, symbolizing equality and companionship. This interpretation aligns with the idea that both men and women were created in God's image, as stated earlier in Genesis 1 verse 27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. This new understanding challenges the traditional hierarchy and promotes a vision of equality and mutual respect. It suggests that from the very beginning, men and women were intended to stand side by side, as equals, sharing in the responsibilities and blessings of life. This interpretation emphasizes that both genders are integral parts of humanity, each contributing unique strengths and perspectives. By recognizing that Eve was created from Adam's side, we can reinterpret the creation story as one of partnership rather than hierarchy. This perspective fosters a more inclusive and egalitarian view of gender roles. It encourages us to value the contributions of both men and women equally and to work together in building a more just and equitable society. Language is powerful, and the words we choose can shape our understanding of the world. Accurate translations are essential for conveying the intended meanings of ancient texts and for preserving their original messages. Misinterpretations can have profound and lasting effects on our beliefs and practices. While the mistranslation of tsela has had a significant impact on gender roles, there are numerous examples in the Bible that support the idea of equality between men and women. These examples highlight the importance of interpreting biblical texts in their proper context and recognizing the inherent value and dignity of all people. 1. Deborah the prophetess. In the book of Judges, Deborah is described as a prophetess and leader of Israel. She held a position of authority and was respected for her wisdom and leadership. Deborah's story demonstrates that women can hold significant roles in religious and societal leadership. 2. Ruth and Naomi. The story of Ruth and Naomi in the book of Ruth highlights the strength and resilience of women. Ruth's loyalty to Naomi and her determination to support her family demonstrate the important contributions women make to their communities. 3. Mary Magdalene. In the New Testament, Mary Magdalene is one of Jesus' closest followers and the first to witness his resurrection. Her role as a key witness to the resurrection underscores the value and importance of women's contributions to the early Christian community. 4. Priscilla and Aquila. Priscilla and her husband Aquila are mentioned several times in the New Testament as prominent leaders in the early Christian church. Priscilla's inclusion in these passages highlights the important role women played in the spread of Christianity. In recognizing the true meaning of tsela, we are reminded of the importance of questioning traditional interpretations and seeking deeper understanding. It can help us uncover the richness and complexity of ancient texts and reveal new dimensions of their relevance to our lives today. The story of Adam and Eve is more than just an ancient tale. It's a reflection of our values and beliefs. By seeking the truth and understanding the original meanings of these texts, we can build a more just and equitable society. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey. If you found this video enlightening, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into biblical stories and their hidden meanings.